Martin Luther King Jr. was born on January 15, 1929, in Atlanta, Georgia. From an early age, he was exposed to the harsh realities of racial segregation and inequality that defined life for African Americans in the United States. Raised in the nurturing environment of Ebenezer Baptist Church, where his father and grandfather served as pastors, King's upbringing was deeply rooted in faith, resilience, and a strong sense of justice. As a child, King experienced the sting of racism firsthand. He grew up in a society that was deeply segregated, where laws and social customs relegated African Americans to second-class citizenship. His early encounters with discrimination, such as being denied playmates because of the color of his skin, left an indelible mark on him. These experiences fueled his determination to challenge the injustices that permeated every aspect of American life. King was an exceptional student, skipping 2 grades and entering Morehouse College at the age of 15. It was during his time at Morehouse that he began to grapple with the question of how to confront the systemic racism that plagued his community. Influenced by the teachings of theologians and philosophers, he found inspiration in the works of Mahatma Gandhi, whose philosophy of nonviolent resistance would later become a cornerstone of King's approach to social change. After graduating from Morehouse, King continued his education at Crozer Theological Seminary in Pennsylvania and later at Boston University, where he earned a doctorate in systematic theology. It was during his time in Boston that he met Coretta Scott, a talented musician and activist who would become his partner in life and in the struggle for civil rights. Together, they formed a formidable team, united by their shared commitment to justice and equality. King's journey as a leader in the civil rights movement began in earnest in 1955, when he was called to serve as pastor of Dexter Avenue Baptist Church in Montgomery, Alabama. That same year, Rosa Parks's courageous act of defiance, refusing to give up her seat on a segregated bus, sparked the Montgomery Bus Boycott. King was chosen to lead the boycott, a decision that thrust him into the national spotlight. The Montgomery Bus Boycott was a turning point in the struggle for civil rights. Lasting over a year, the boycott demonstrated the power of collective action and nonviolent resistance. It also solidified King's role as a prominent leader in the fight for racial justice. Despite facing threats, arrests, and violence, King remained steadfast in his commitment to nonviolence, emphasizing the importance of love and forgiveness even in the face of hatred. In 1957, King co-founded the Southern Christian Leadership Conference, SCLC, an organization dedicated to advancing civil rights through nonviolent means. Under King's leadership, the SCLC became a driving force in the movement, organizing protests, marches, and voter registration drives across the South. King's eloquence and moral authority inspired countless individuals to join the cause, transforming the civil rights movement into a nationwide struggle for justice. One of the defining moments of King's leadership came in 1963. During the campaign to desegregate Birmingham, Alabama. Known as one of the most racially divided cities in America, Birmingham became a battleground for the civil rights movement. King and other leaders organized a series of nonviolent demonstrations to challenge the city's segregation laws. These protests were met with brutal force, as police used dogs, fire hoses, and batons against demonstrators, many of whom were children. The images of brutality in Birmingham shocked the nation and galvanized support for the civil rights movement. King was arrested during the campaign and wrote his famous letter from Birmingham jail, a powerful defense of nonviolent resistance and a call to action for people of conscience. In the letter, he argued that injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere, urging individuals to rise above complacency and take a stand against oppression. Later that year, King played a central role in organizing the March on Washington for Jobs and Freedom. On August 28, 1963, over 250,000 people gathered at the Lincoln Memorial in Washington, D.C., to demand civil rights and economic justice. It was here that King delivered his iconic "I Have a Dream" speech, a stirring vision of a future where people would be judged not by the color of their skin but by the content of their character. The speech remains one of the most celebrated orations in American history, embodying the aspirations of a nation striving for equality. King's efforts contributed to significant legislative victories, including the Civil Rights Act of 1964 and the Voting Rights Act of 1965. These landmark laws dismantled legal segregation and protected the voting rights of African Americans, marking a major step forward in the fight for justice. King's leadership and the sacrifices of countless activists brought about profound changes in American society. Though the struggle for equality was far from over, in the years that followed, King expanded his focus to address broader issues of economic inequality, militarism, and poverty. He believed that true justice required not only the elimination of racial discrimination but also the creation of a fair and equitable society. King's Poor People's Campaign sought to unite people of all races in a movement to demand economic justice and address the systemic inequalities that perpetuated poverty. King's unwavering commitment to nonviolence and social justice earned him the Nobel Peace Prize in 1964. However, his work also made him a target of intense scrutiny and hostility. He faced constant threats to his life, as well as criticism from those who opposed his vision of a just society. Despite these challenges, King remained resolute, driven by his faith and his belief in the power of love and nonviolent resistance to overcome hatred and injustice. Tragically, King's life was cut short on April 4, 1968, when he was assassinated in Memphis, Tennessee. He had traveled to Memphis to support striking sanitation workers, highlighting the interconnectedness of racial and economic justice. His death was a devastating blow to the civil rights movement and to all who shared his dream of a better world. In the years since his assassination, King's legacy has endured as a beacon of hope and inspiration. His life and work continue to resonate, reminding us of the power of courage, compassion, and determination in the face of adversity. The Martin Luther King Jr. Day holiday, established in his honor, serves as a reminder of the ongoing struggle for justice and the importance of standing up for what is right. King's dream of a world where justice and equality prevail remains unfinished, challenging each generation to carry forward his vision. His words and actions call us to confront the injustices of our time, to build bridges of understanding, and to work tirelessly to create a society where all people can live with dignity and freedom. As we reflect on his legacy, we are reminded that the arc of the moral universe may be long, but it bends toward justice, and that each of us has a role to play in shaping its course.